welcome to HEX, the Kryptosparbuch show. Actually, it's KSP TV. I got confused. Hey, Victor, how's it going?
Hey, buddy. Good to see you again.
Really good to see you as well. Yeah, I'm really excited for the stream today because you see already Patrick is missing. He is on vacation. So I'm so glad that you jumped in, Victor. And we have so much to discuss because you are the ambassador of HEX Postcards. And this is why I got you here. I love the direct marketing that this project is doing. And I want to know everything about it.
Yeah, sure. It's very exciting, man. We're printing cards, mailing them out all across America. Kind of similar to how Kryptosparbuch or the KSB team drove around America for the 5555 tour. We're sending cards out there all across America, and it's exciting stuff. I'd like to share it with you.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the 5555 tour. This is also something that we will discuss just because of the nature of its direct marketing, right? We want to get into touch with the people. And of course, hexpostcards.com is one of the biggest things that we have going on for this matter. So right now, guys, is the time. Matt Phoenix, Thor is already here, the Beach Whale. Thank you guys for tuning in. Right now is the time to like and subscribe. Tweet out that we are doing the stream here because today we are discussing the direct marketing in HEX. And before we start, we have a little introduction just to give you guys the time to like and to subscribe and also tweet it out. So let's bring up my screen share in a second and then we can start the show. Oh man. So now I have to decide which window. Give me a second here.
Patrick's on vacation, huh?
Patrick is on vacation. He likes it a lot. A lot of people are missing him already and we're asking for him. That's why I brought it up right away. All right, so there we got the screen share here. It is just the random first one. I wanted to start with this one actually. Luna Crush was just 3 hours ago, and I actually like Luna Crush a lot. It shows you the engagement of every single crypto coin that there's out there. And what are they saying? They're saying that the Hex social media activity on Luna Crush is just amazing, and that we have a lot of things going on in Hex. And this is just so true. Victor, I always try to bring it back to the early days when you started investing in Hex, when there were only 50 people in a YouTube stream. You know. We have never seen anything like this, but now it seems like the gatekeeping is coming to an end. How do you see it?
No, I agree with you. I mean, Richard's getting out there. I mean, Richard's always been out there, but lately he's been on fire with these Twitter spaces and getting out there more. And I think that's resonating with a lot of people. I mean, people want to hear some refreshing truth in the light of, Luna and Celsius and whatnot. We've got a guy who we saw all along. We saw his vision all along, but this is a guy who's told people forcibly, do not use these projects, do not use these centralized basically trade, which were in reality they've become like these trading things. Once you pull back the curtain, the people who run them are basically taking your coins, using them to trade, and they were not prepared for the bear market, right? So in any event, people are seeing that. They're liking what Richard has to say, and they're starting to talk about Hex more. And this is something we're excited about. It's getting more social media play, and we really kind of ought to take advantage of that when marketing our product.
One thing that they are saying is that we have a couple of spikes here that really are really tremendous to our social media engagement. And when we click here on the next one, I already have like one example why that might be, right? Obviously, a sticker like this is not going to cause too much engagement, not a spike like we've just seen, but maybe something like this, where you have a big sign. And I do not know where that is, but I can just guess that it's in the Europe area. Because
it's somewhere in the UK, I believe.
That's what I believe as well. Like one thing is Brent Morris who was posting it. I know that he is often in the UK. He has even a UK flag there that I see. But anyways, look how many people will see this big billboard. And I just love that the Hex community comes together and does such kind of things out of their own pocket. We do not know who bought this sign, right? But we know it's out there and people are looking at it. This is, I think, direct marketing at its finest.
Yeah, and we're all volunteers, and things like this are great. And sometimes they often get overshadowed a little bit, but it's very important, these things, because they kind of snowball. These little things add up. People see Hex here and there on a billboard, on a sticker, on a postcard, what have you, and it starts to leave a little imprint in their mind. What is this thing? Maybe they ignore it once, maybe they ignore it twice, maybe the third time they say, I got to look this thing up, I got to see what it is.
Exactly. So let's see what else do we have here prepared. Direct marketing also goes this way, right? Like I'm trying to only wear Hex stuff. Here I have my own Hex t-shirt with pumphex.com. We will look into this as well. But I also try to put patches on my clothes and stuff like this because I'm a full-time Hexican, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people do not understand that this means for me at least to talk about Hex 24/7. Anywhere I go, just to the supermarket, I talk about Hex, and patches like this just help me to start the conversation sometimes.
Yeah,
Do you have
people go ahead.
similar effort?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I got my little Hex swag on right here. Anytime
Nice.
people walk up to you sometimes and ask you what is that? What is that? Is that a crypto thing? Blah blah. And it's an icebreaker. It's something that you can talk about with just random people you walk across every day to day life. So I mean I'm a 9-to-5 guy. I got a 9-to-5 job, but I wear Hex some stuff sometimes. It's just if I can get away with it, or if I have the clothes or whatever, clean clothes, I love to wear Hex stuff and just show it off, be proud of it.
And the best thing is we have seen it on the 5555 tour. Every Hexican is doing it because we are all so proud of what we are doing, right?
Yeah.
So here is the next thing that just came out like 2 weeks ago, something like this. This book's the Hex Phenomenon, also an amazing direct marketing effort here by Matt Gebedian. And he even asked me to write a forward, and I was honored to do so.
That's
and
so great.
This book
Yeah.
is going out into thousands, right? I think he sold about 1,000 copies or something like this, expecting to sell way more in the future, obviously. But this is something tangible, something that you have in your hand, and give it to your friends and family so they
Sure.
can actually learn about everything in cryptocurrency. Have
Yeah,
you,
and that one's got a
read
lot
this
of
book yet?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've heard of it. I haven't read it yet. I actually participated about a week ago. He was wanting to do a push, like to get it on the top of the Amazon charts. So I bought a digital copy of it, and I'm looking forward to get a physical copy. And I just wanted to point out, Alan, that that's the second Hex book out there. So this is actually the second book that's talks about Hex and stuff. There was also another one written by a European. I forget, Joachim, I think his name is, but it was written about 6 months ago and 9 months ago, something like that. And that one's a good read as well.
Oh yeah, actually I totally forgot about that book because actually we were giving this book out in our 5555 tour, and this book is a little bit more Hex specific. The Hex Phenomenon here talks about security, talks about why blockchain is good for government, just sums up what you and I already know and what we need to pass on to our onboard. So I think this is why this book is a really good onboarding tool. And then obviously we will talk about one of my favorite projects that I have going on. It was just born out of an idea, right? I wanted to print out business cards so we can pass them out everywhere. I'm doing that now for over 2 years. It started in Georgia, and I just printed them out, and I wanted to give it into the hands of people, and they were not even talking my language, right? I got so many no's. And now I see Jimmy the Hex here, for example, doing the same thing, being in the streets, talking to the people about Hex, and a lot of people will say no to you. But this is actually your chance to grow, because every time I got to know, I got better and in selling Hex and pitching it. So are you out of all your business cards?
I'm out of my business cards, sir. I handed them all out. I put them in little places. Like what I like doing is putting them in little ATM slots or gas pump slots and make people kind of have to grab it to put their card in. It gets a card in people's hands, it's something they can look at and take with them.
Exactly, and it's 100% view, right? So they have to take it into the hand and at least throw it away, so they see it for sure.
Right.
So I like these kinds of things as well. And you see, passing out cards makes you creative on what could be a good strategy. Because if you just put it somewhere and somebody sees it one time, that's cool. That's already what we want. But if you put it somewhere where maybe 100 people see it because they walk by, that's even cooler, in my opinion.
And then stickers go a long way with that as well. Just slapping in places that you think people will walk by and look at, and maybe not be pulled off right away. But you showed that gas pump. That's a good spot to do it. I mean, right now in America, Alan, that one of the big things was people are putting like Joe Biden stickers on gas pumps. So it's kind of similar in that vein. Someone's gonna see it. Someone's gonna say, "What the heck is this?" Someone's gonna ignore it. But it's fun. It's something easy and simple anyone could do. Get yourself a pack of 100 stickers. Get yourself a pack of 1,000 cards, and just put them places, hand them out, and just have them in your pocket to give away if someone asks something about Hex.
And how all of that works, we will discuss in the next couple of 15 minutes, because we are almost done with the introduction. Everybody should be back here from retweeting and so on. The Hex tournament to kick off Postcard is the last topic that I have here. Just another marketing tool that we have to make events, have the Hexicans network, and then out of that, sometimes amazing things happen, right? I remember when you were in Dallas, and all the other events in Texas were so huge because the community was so great. And I bet you have other stories to tell what happened after we left basically America. Was the Texican community, Texas Hexican community, able to gather together and have more events like ours?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we've got a pretty solid group on Telegram, and we we exchange information and talk about having meetups and stuff. One big person, of course, are the folks up in Dallas is Jesse and Christy. So they organize a couple get-togethers. They've had people over. There was a July 4th gathering. Myself, I've been kind of busy the past couple months because we just had a new baby, and so we're trying to take care of her and do all that thing. But the Texas people are having a lot of events, and I tell people when I'm just around Twitter and Telegram and whatnot, go ahead and make a group for your state, for your country, for your locale, if there's not a one already, and kind of go out and meet people. That's why I like KSB so much. That's why I like Alan and Patrick so much, because they're going out there and actually having a face-to-face, one-on-one connection with people, with fellow Hexicans. And it makes it feel a lot more real when you can talk to people and it's just not in front of a screen or a phone. You can actually engage with them.
And I had the feeling this traveling around, meeting so many Hexicans and networking basically on a daily basis made me a better Hexican at the end. So I want to encourage everybody to check out KSB TV and the Pulse Masters here to kick off PulseCon. All the money that we gather from this event will be used to promote the Million Pulse Tour, and therefore Hex Pulse Chain and Pulse X as well. So here is something that I was working on the last 2 or 3 days. I was updating my pumphex.com site. I think it's the second best domain that we have in Hex. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. Hey, Alan's the greatest Hexican out there, right? I mean, come on now.
And now the idea with pumphex.com, we can maybe click here on projects. There you see the idea of pumphex.com was born because I want to give out my 50,000 business cards on this one event at the Hex conference. And it was a big success, right? Yep. 500 Hexicans got those cards. They were giving out those cards. And what I want to point out here is, because in a second we will talk about Hex Postcards. Hex Postcards is basically the same, but with automatic shipping. And this is where I have the problem in. For example, if I'm one person, I'm giving out my business cards at the beach, well, that doesn't really scale. But if I do it with my friends, it scales already a little bit better. But then if you have a whole community doing it, this is just amazing. And this is why I was able to give out 100,000 business cards so far. But Hex Postcards here, when you click on this, we go to the actual site, is a little bit different. And Victor, you are the ambassador of Hex Postcards. Can you give us a little bit of an elevator pitch how everything came together? And then you obviously became part of the team, and how everything is going right now.
Sure. Yeah. So a fellow Hexican named Togosh, he started this. It's kind of his idea, and it's a very simple concept. We got we're gate kept in a lot of places on the internet. We're gate kept in a lot of places in the cryptocurrency space. As we all know, Richard is gate kept at a lot of places. I mean, Richard tells the story often of how he has an Instagram, right? And he wanted to advertise Hex. Well, he tried to advertise Hex. That's a no-go, cryptocurrency, whatever. Okay, so I don't want to advertise Hex. I want to advertise myself. I want to advertise the brand of Richard Hart, right? richardhart.com. Well, they gave him the same answer. No, you cannot advertise Richard Hart. So that's just goes to show you how strong the gates are, how kept we are from advertising anything to do with Hex, anything to do with Richard Hart. So one thing he's constantly telling Hexicans to do is outbound messaging, right? So someone put two and two together. That was Togosh. He said, I got an idea. Let's do some postcards with some, cool design, with some cool points about what Hex is about. Let's get it in people's mailboxes. Let's send it to some of the richest people in the United States. And I thought, to myself, I thought, I heard about this pretty early on. I said, that's a pretty good idea. Let me run with it. Let me help him out. So he got some help with design. He got some help with messaging and copy, and he reached out. And there was actually a fellow Hexican named Philip Banks who's been in the print marketing business for years, during over 20 years, who's wanting to help out too. He said, I'll be happy to do this, and I'll do it at cost. He'll ship at cost these cards, which is, you can't really beat that from anywhere you go. So we ended up getting a rate of somewhere around 33 to 34 cents. Yeah, there's Philip right there. And so in any event, we started mailing out these cards. We got a few generous donations, and sure enough, we got some great response back. We've gotten people on Twitter taking pictures of these cards, and saying, whoa, look at what's in my mailbox, to all of their followers. They're sending a photo about Hex, and it's a big photo, as you can see right there. Look at this. Are you kidding me? And it shows Hex to all of their followers. Naturally, what's going to happen, Alan? People are going to say, oh, what is this Hex thing? Let me look into it. Let me check the website out. Let me see who Richard is. And it just kind of snowballed from there. We've gotten another few people post about it, and one in particular, of course, is a gentleman named Jack Levin, who's been around our space now for a while, and he's been in the technology space. He was one of the first employees at Google, and he talked with Crypto Coffee, and one of the things that Crypto Coffee said, well, how did you hear about Hex? How did you hear about Rich Hart? He goes, one of the first things he said was, well, I heard a little bit about it on Twitter, and I checked my mailbox, and there was a Hex postcard, and that kind of spurred me on into thinking, like, I need to look into this. And sure enough, the next thing you know, he's watching hours and hours of Richard Hart content, and he's like going, hey, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. So that's just the kind of examples of things that these little postcards can do, and the power of that, just having a card that goes to the mailbox that's not gate kept, that somebody potentially has a chance of picking it up and saying, oh, let me look into this. Now, realistically, a majority of these people are throwing them away, but you never know. You'll get that 1 in a million chance where you got a guy who's already heard about Hex, or maybe interested in learning about it, goes to the website, and then he becomes a streamer. He becomes somebody who wants to make content. He becomes a full-blooded Hexican,
100%. And this is an amazing story that Jack Levin found one of those business cards. It just makes so much sense for me to send those out. And that's why I'm doing that for years. And like I said, my biggest problem is getting those cards out. But with hexpostcards.com, this problem is actually fixed, right? But this automation comes with some of the other problems, because when I saw the stream on Wales Only with Philip Banks, for example, Philip Banks is looking on how to deploy the money efficiently, right? Yes. So maybe we can talk about some numbers here. For example, how many cards have been sent out, and how many money estimation maybe has been sent to Hex Postcards already?
Yeah, so we've sent out over 250,000 at this point. We just got another donation, and we're going to be sending out another, I think 30 or 40,000. And so far it's been just over six figures. I mean, I think it's about 120 or 110, something like that, in the ballpark of that range as far as donations. And those donate, it's very transparent. We show everything on the website, what we do, where we spend the money. And anybody who wants to donate obviously can come in, fill us out, talk to us, get an idea, and they can use us as much or as little as we want. We have a platform with which we have designs, we have a contact, a print contact. We have a guy who's been in this business for 20 years, who knows how to send these cards effectively. And you can use these tools and at your will. You can do as much or as little, and we can have as much or as little as involvement as you want. Like, you could just use our website as a resource to kind of do it yourself. Look, get some knowledge, and kind of make your own design, pick your own zip codes. We've got it all there. We've got it showing people how to do it themselves. Or you can just say, hey, look, I want to donate $1,000. I want to donate $5,000. I want to donate $500, whatever. And y'all just do what y'all see fit, and anywhere in between that. But yeah, so far it's so good, I think.
So this is really something that I like, that any Hexican can come in here, use your marketing tool that you have here, and all the informations are in here really to how to do it, right? And then they could just use their QR code, for example, to put that out. But what I want to bring out here is that you so far has posted out 250,000 business cards, 40 more thousand are to come, about 100,000 postcard, $100,000 estimation here, of course, has been sent. And it sounds like a crazy high number, but we have to understand what we get out of that. The direct marketing that Jack Levine is in is probably already worth it. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, this is a guy who's been in the tech space for years and years and years, probably longer than most of us, frankly. I mean, he was the number 21 employee at Google. He, who knows if he wouldn't have gotten that card, maybe he would have found Richard one day. Who knows? But it's amazing somebody like that, the kind of boost in confidence it gives you when you see somebody like that who's been in the space for a long time, who kind of knows cryptocurrency because he's been in Bitcoin as long as Richard has or longer, and he sees something very valuable in Hex, and it kind of validates what we have seen in Richard and what we have seen in this product. And so it's hard to put a price on that. I mean, this is a guy who's been around the block a few times, and he likes what we're doing. He thinks it's a valid and great idea for a digital asset. So it's hard to put a price on that. And it's similar to you look at Crypto Heartbeat. You know, the guys watched a video commercial on late night television, and all of a sudden he's this big streamer. You know, I mean, things like that are just these rare occurrences, and they only happen because Hexicans take the initiative to go out there and do a little marketing for this product. You know, Richard, we're not counting on the work of Richard. You know, this is something that he created and gave to us, and we kind of have a responsibility to go out there and share it to the world. And I think Hex Postcards is a great way to do it. I think pumphex.com is a great way to do it. I think KSB is a great way to do it. And there's many other different ways, but I really like, these options.
And I'm in the printing business myself, right? So I have to look out for the best prices and so on. So I want to put a price on this postcard. What is the average postcard cost for one postcard to send out? I think you guys are so transparent. You have broken it down to like 33 cents per postcard sent, right? Depending on which zip card code and so on.
Right. Yeah, there's a few factors that come into play depending on how many you send, how many you get printed out, where you send them to. But a good ballpark is somewhere between the 30 to 50 cents range. But if you come and talk to us, we'll kind of work through it with you. And if you say I want to send 1,000 cards to this zip code or these two zip codes, we'll kind of break it down for you, show you the numbers, and show you what kind of price you're expecting. Or if you want to just say I want to donate $500, can you send it to this state or wherever. And also just wanted to point out, Alan, we're also looking beyond the United States into, Australia, the UK, Canada, and we're putting out some information about that. And that's the long-term goal, is to start sending out cards to those countries as well.
I've seen you have even Germany for a look out for your Hex postcards. I think this is amazing. So my little cards here, there are pretty much a lot of similarities. We both use cards. My cards are a little bit smaller. I like them smaller because then I have more in my backpack and I can just put out more in the cards without going backwards and so on. So I like the small design, but obviously the postcard design is way better for mailing. So I just love how many similarities there are.
Yeah, the postcard's already kind of ready to go, ready to be mailed. But I would point out, I don't know if you have it on your list of tabs or not, Philip has a website called hex.promo where it has the postcards that you can if you just wanted to buy the postcards, you could buy them. You could also buy business size versions of the cards, of the actual postcards that we're sending. And you can use those as well, not to be competing with, of course, Alan's cards, but it's another option for you to use. If you wanted to have a smaller version of the card, if you liked that design that we're using as postcards, we also sell those in business card type format, so you could carry those along as well.
And obviously, like I have no problem to have a lot of competition in this direct marketing field of
Right.
Hex. As more competition is just even better for me. And this is why I implemented Hex Postcards here, for example. Or if you click on downloads, then you can download all the other things as well, right?
Oh.
So I want the other Hexicans to participate. For me, pumphex.com is a marketing tool that everybody should use to make their own brand, their own Hex brand better on social media and fight the haters out there.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do is, if we just scroll down here, there's so many informations, and if we click on Richard Hart, the second message here, I think it's really interesting. Richard Hart is saying, of the many things I'm proud of Hexicans for, the direct mail campaign I love most. Great work, guys. Keep it up. So I think you must be so proud of this tweet.
That's straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, Richard believes strongly in direct marketing. Postcards is one way to direct market. Face-to-face interaction like KSB does, that's another way to direct market. When you're meeting one person one-on-one, giving them information, getting information to them, that's a great way to market, as opposed to sometimes brand marketing, which is great, but it can sometimes get lost in a bunch of other stuff, and people don't, it kind of becomes a blur, some talking like a billboard or a car or something like that, which is great, but it can sometimes get lost in a bunch of other stuff. With direct marketing, you're targeting a specific person for a specific reason, and giving them information that you think that they can benefit from.
Exactly. Now we could talk about how effective is it to give a business card into the hand, or just talk with somebody, right? And there are so many levels, but I believe direct marketing is seriously the most effective. It's probably more effective than talking to people, because if you talk to people, people just will forget. But a postcard you have in your hand, right? It will draw back your attention to it once if you keep it, for sure.
Yeah, I recommend anyone who's a serious Hexican get some cards made. Either use pumphex.com, use Hex promo, get some cards made, have a few, just have some in your pocket, have some in your house. Have a couple in your pocket when you're talking to people. Say, hey, look, you've heard me talk about this Hex stuff. Just, here, hold on to this, put it in your wallet, check it out one day, hopefully soon. This is a great time to buy. I really believe in this product, and there's no better way than to present them with a card or get a postcard or what have you.
Oh, maybe not so much interesting for the viewers, but for me it is really interesting. How much does a single card cost just in production, if you do not have to send it out with UPS, for example? Because I believe this is the biggest cost of this project, right?
Yeah, that would probably be, because like I said, we've got a Hexican who Philip actually is in the business, and he's doing this at cost. I mean, that means he's eating the cost of printing and ink and whatnot, and the mailing, but the postage, you can't obviously eat that cost. That's something you got to give to the government. So I'm not sure. I'm actually pulling up his website right now, because you can purchase the cards, I think, but I think you got to get a specific amount.
Because the Hex Postcard, for example, is also not a cheap version, right? It's actually a pretty good version with a little bit thicker paper. It feels good, exactly.
Glossy,
and,
yes.
Sometimes I must say I'm trying to bring down the quality by purpose, right? Because I know people will throw it away.
Right.
I know that it will sometimes even stay in nature, so I like to just use natural paper. And I think I'm paying around 14 cents per business card, depending on where I am, obviously. But I found an direct marketing idea where I could have a little cost of only 1 cent per paper, or maybe 2 cents per paper that I give out. But I've not brought out that project yet. I will do that in the future.
Okay.
I hope it will be a little
tuned.
surprise. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we can go further down here into all those links that you guys are providing. Obviously, videos where you can learn more about Hex Postcards. And I already watched the video with where it's only, for example. It's also on my site. And there you talk to Philip Banks, for example, totally different questions. You've also been with Corey Costa's Crypto Show on, you are trying to bring out the word for Hex Postcards, right? Now, my question naturally is, like, Victor, why are you doing this? Nobody is paying you. Like, why are you putting all your effort into this project?
Yeah, we're both volunteers at the end of the day, Alan. I mean, we believe strongly in Hex. We believe strongly in Richard, right? That I see it as a duty, frankly. I see Richard is oftentimes gatekept. He's oftentimes talked bad about, and Hex is disparaged all over social media, all over the cryptocurrency space. So I want to see Hex be successful, and I think it's incumbent upon us to really go out there and spread the word of it. I mean, with the price of Hex, the price of anything, any asset, it depends on buyers and sellers, right? So the way I see it, you've got two options. You can keep people from selling, which Hex is encoded to try and do through the share system. It incentivizes people not to sell the Hex. Okay, so that's pretty much covered. I mean, other than telling people, hey, don't sell, there's really not much you can do in that regard. I mean, people are going to choose to sell if they need liquidity, if they need to get out, if they want to try something new. That's the breaks. But there's another aspect to it, and that's through buying. That's through people knowing about Hex. If you bring more people into the ecosystem, you're helping everybody. You're helping yourself and you're helping everybody. And this is something, if you're a Hexican, this is something you believe in. This is something that you've been looking for in a lot of ways. And so what a better use of my time than to show people about it beyond my inner circle, beyond my friends and my family. Let's do something that we can do proactively that is helpful to the product. I mean, this is what Richard says is a good use of our time and energy. It's through postcards, through talking to people. He's said the same thing about KSB, that interviewing or talking to people, having events with people, just bringing the message to everybody in every avenue that we're allowed to, that we're afforded to, without being gatekept. And the mailbox, the postal service is one avenue to do it. I don't know if enough people know about it. So that incentivizes me to reach out to our influencers and say, hey, look, we're doing this thing. I think it's a very special thing. I think Richard has talked a lot about it. I think it's got great results. Talk to me about it. I'll be the face of it. Togosh is doesn't want to be the face of it. Philip's not exactly the most camera savvy person. I don't consider myself most camera savvy person either, but it's like I believe in this thing. I believe in this idea of marketing, of direct marketing through the mail.
I have the feeling I have to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm waiting for somebody who's taking my place, doing it better than me. But there's nobody out there. Could you imagine? You would not do it if there was somebody.
And it's like what Richard says out. He goes, I wasn't going to make a Pulse chain, but I was waiting for Ethereum to do. Ethereum just let me down so much with the gas fees, with how they punish Hex and other good projects like Hex. And he felt compelled to save cryptocurrency, to save people that he believes strongly in the idea of blockchain and freedom and financial sovereignty. So he just had to, hey, I'm gonna have to do it myself,
And we are so lucky that we have Richard providing us with this infrastructure. The crypto software, right, is hard. We are waiting a long time, but now we are using the time, like you were saying, in Hex Postcards, for example. I bet you got way, way better talking to Phil Benz, talking to Togosh, talking to all those people, and just, evolving. At least this is what happened to me. I bet you learned a lot as well while being part of Hex Postcards.
Sure. Yeah, it's great. I mean, just being in life, you've got to kind of, life is tough, right, Alan? I mean, you know it better than most people. I mean, you've had struggles and stuff, and it's like you've got to kind of face it head on. And eventually you just realize that nobody's going to solve your problems. Nobody's going to do it for you. So you've just kind of got to take initiative. You've got to get out there. If you don't like talking, sometimes you just got to learn to talk. If you don't like, socializing, sometimes you got to learn how to do it. And some people love it, and some people have other inhibitions and other fears. But the only way to really conquer fears is to face them little by little and grow from challenging them.
And I have the next topic here, because this is something that really we need to stress about. The screen share is already up. So this is something that is just adding to what we are doing, right? We are doing postcards, we're doing business cards, but we need the Hex community to then also to not just put them out, but also Twitter about it, because this is actually where we're really scaling. Like I realized that really early on, because I just reached so few people with my hands, right? But then when I saw people are actually putting those postcards out, like Jimmy the Hex, for example, he's the latest guy I saw. He said, but I got inspired. I am now printing out those cards and doing it myself. So now you have on Hex Postcards all those pictures. Is there a picture maybe that resonates the most with you? I mean, here we have Peter, for example. I know you have a good story to tell about him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great story. Richard mentioned that on a stream as well. That gentleman is I'd have to look at his profile again, but he has something to do with Digital Visa Ventures or something like that. He's a very old. He's been in Twitter for a long time, as you can see by his handle. He's at Peter. I mean, he's been in Twitter forever, and he came across that card, and of course the first thing he thinks to do, let me take a picture of it and share it with my audience and see if anybody's heard of it. So this is like these things couple it compounds. We love compounding things in Hex, right? Hexicans love how you get Hex, you stake Hex, and you get more Hex, and it compounds, right? This marketing works similarly. You've got a card. The whole point of that card was just to reach a wealthy investor, a wealthy person in the United States, right? Well, now it's compounded because this gentleman took the picture of this card and he shared it with his social media, and that picture gets shared by somebody else, and somebody else says, oh, well, what about Hex? Oh, I don't know. This looks like a scam. Oh, no, it's not. And it leads to more conversations, and everything just kind of snowballs. So we want to get more of that through the postcards. And I wanted to point out something very on the same topic. I know you with your cards and giving them out in Vegas. I remember seeing a lot of content from Susie Q. I don't know if you remember, she was posting your cards everywhere in her in where she's from, and I thought that was so wonderful because it's like she's taking pictures of her handing out the cards to somebody. So it's not just her talking to that person; she also takes a picture of it, and that gets shared. So it's like everything compounds, and it hits more people, and it's a great use of our time, I think.
Exactly. Using Q was pretty much the only one who really took the time and completed all the efforts that I wanted the Hexicans to do. Let's do the screen share again, and then we can look into just a couple of things that I wanted the Hexicans to do. It's obviously giving out those cards, right? So everybody has that. And then I wanted the Hexicans to pass them out and also make those videos. And this is why I'm stressing that so much, because it's so crucial, not only for the business cards, but also here for Hex Postcards, for example. So my idea would be, that's maybe also the question why I asked how much does a postcard cost. Maybe we could get a couple of those cards, because I guess they're really cheap when Philip Banks can help with that, right? And send them over to Postcard, maybe, because there we have the same situation again. We have 1,000 Hexicans probably there that want to pass out those cards and just need it in the hand.
That's a great idea, Alan. Yeah, that would be a great idea. I didn't think about that.
And well, then we cut out the middleman, the guys who are sending us. We don't rely on UPS anime. So I think maybe that could be a good idea. Maybe later on we can talk about that furthermore. But so now here we have all the pictures that people are sending, right? And like I said, you are presenting here so much value. For example, if you click on design, you can just choose a design from previous postcards, I guess, right? Like this is
that one that you picked is the one that we're kind of currently sending out. That's one side of it. And but yeah, there's actually multiple designs in there. We held a contest last month or the month before where we were giving away some cryptocurrency to folks that had the best design per votes. And so we had about, I don't know, 24 submissions, 20 submissions, something like that. All of them are available on the website to use. If somebody's like, I like the idea, but I'm not sure about that design, we've got other designs to choose from. And obviously you can have something made yourself. That's not a problem. You could bring your own design and then use our resources to ship it if you'd like, or, just run with the idea yourself. We'd love to hear more ideas. We'd love for people to come join the Telegram, t.me/Hex Postcards, and kind of go forward from there.
Victor, if you look here at my business card, for example, it says 100K investors, 3 billion staked, and 38 APY. The only thing that does not change is 38% APY. The other numbers change so often, and I have to update them, and sometimes if the cards get too old, I'm thinking, no, that's not the valid information anymore. But I'm saying, no, that it still brings the point across. But what we see here with Hex Postcards, I just had it somewhere. It's basically the same. We have 440,000 wallets and 8 billion already used.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? Should Hexigan use hard numbers in their advertisement, or is it hard to do because you have to update them all the time?
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal. I mean, that's something we're constantly talking about in the Telegram, is how we should update the cards. And one thing in particular is on the card we have a link to the Hex Crypto Telegram group, the main chat, and so we kind of went back and forth about, is that the best place to send people? There you can see it in the bottom right corner, and so we've kind of went back and forth with different ideas what we should put there instead, and that's the kind of chat that we have in there. We talk about people who've made donations, where it's going, what the future looks like, but that's the kind of things we talk about. And yeah, I mean, I think it's always prudent to be looking over your copy and looking over what you have on the materials that you're sending out, and see if it's up to date, see if there's anything you can tweak. I would never suggest somebody go print out 1 million of anything. Just kind of just make sure it has all the latest and greatest stuff, and what you're comfortable sending out there and giving to people.
If you're a human being, you are making mistakes. If you are creating a template like this, where you have to make like hundreds decisions, thousands decisions, what color to use, how much of a spacing, then you will have mistakes. And I remember being in the Telegram chat just a couple of days ago. I was seeing exactly this postcard, and I was saying, hey, Togosh or Philip Banks, I do not know what it was. We could do a little bit more spacing here, more there, and it was like pretty good. But then I looked after it like a little bit more, and now here, for example, I see a little bit of a shadow. So all I want to say, it's crazy how much of effort really takes to print out a perfect card like this.
And our community is so full of great people. I mean, there's so many different Telegram chats. I would ask anybody, if just reach out to me directly, reach out to Alan or Abbott directly. We will be more than willing to point you in the right direction if you're kind of overwhelmed with so much stuff going on and you're not sure exactly how you best fit into the ecosystem and the community. Reach out to us directly, but yeah, definitely come to our Telegram, just Twitter, the main just get involved. There's so many ways you can get involved, and there's so many different avenues for marketing the product. A product as great as Hex, it's like it sells itself, but it needs people. You need to find people that are willing to listen to the message.
Yes, 100%. Hey, I think I found something that I do not like about the site. You're seeing the mouse right now. It is on the tab, and it shows me the price of Hex. I do not want to see that at all, actually. I think we should vote for having that out of there.
Okay. That's a good idea.
So we are just seeing the design contest. So many designs there. We have more instructions on how everything is going. With the EDDM here, I saw Philip Banks using that. But can everybody actually do that?
Yeah. You can do it. Like I said, this gives you all the instructions on how to do it yourself. But yeah, there's websites on there that show you exactly where you need to go to do kind of get the most bang for your buck. And you can basically select different postal routes to different zip codes and select, like, I just want to target residential businesses versus I want to target everybody, like commercial businesses and stuff. And we generally aim towards just marketing at residences, because the thought process is, if you send it to a business, sometimes the person who gets the mail is not always the business owner. So it might just be somebody working there who knows to throw away everything that's not related to, like, a bill or something like that. So that generally we just target residences of a certain income. But if you have other ideas, like I said, the big thing we push is the very DIY thing. You can take as much or as little from us as we have. You don't have to listen to our guidance. You can do however you want to. That's what makes Hex beautiful, is we're all kind of independent in what we think is best. But this is kind of the route and the plan we're going.
And you guys have thought about this project for such a long time already, right? So much thought went into it. And now you are tweaking the numbers, like doing the right zip codes. Maybe you leave out a road just so it is like thousands of dollars cheaper. Maybe you print 2,000 less, and now the batch is cheaper and stuff like this. I've seen Philip Banks doing exactly this. So, and I think this is so amazing. Somebody who is not involved in the community would just do it and not look about efficiency. But we are really honored to have the best But yeah, worth
we
for
want
our
to make
buck, right?
sure the money is well spent. I mean, this is important to not only just be effective, but especially if someone's donating it, it's somebody else's money. We want to make sure that it's utilized to the best of our abilities and it's seen as by as many people as possible.
So what we see here is Hex Postcards wealthy zip code list, right? And
Yep.
you have so much data of where the most wealthiest people live. You can actually
Yes.
look on it on this screen really beautifully. So Victor, why is it so important to target the high net worth individuals in our society?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thinking is when you have somebody with more disposable income, they're more apt to look for products, look for something that can help them preserve that wealth, especially with inflation the way it is. People are looking for something like Hex. And generally, the people that have more income are more apt to look for something like that. And it's, whales tend to help move the price better. Whales tend to help our ecosystem grow. As a general rule, you'd want someone who can buy 50,000 hex versus 1,000 hex or 5,000 hex. So that's just one of the parameters that we're using to help make this more effective, is to target the wealthier individuals who are looking for are generally looking for a product like Hex.
And I see already people in the chat here talking a little bit on how great the product is. Hex, obviously, here in this point, we're talking about my Hex $7 prediction. Well, this was obviously wrong, but it got a lot of people talking. I think it's funny that everybody in the Hex community now $7. Oh, okay, that was Abbott. So that's pretty cool. And Unimax is saying it's just 200x from here. So I think that's not too much. Hex did 200x in the past, and I believe it can do that in the future as well. Yeah, well, I asked you this question on why do you think it's important to target those wealthy people? And obviously, you're right. Richard Hart says that all the time. Rich people do not have to sell, while broke people probably want to sell. They really want to get their Lambo as soon as possible, right? I cannot, obviously, with my business cards, when I see a nice Mercedes or Lamborghini, I put it there for sure. But I always have the problem that I need to give it to everybody. On the other hand, this is not too bad either, right? Because everybody could just be a potential Hex user and then just start mouth to word, right? And just talk to friends and family then. Yeah. So that's why I always saying every single card that I give out or every single postcard that gets sent could change somebody's life. If you send it to rich people, then it's really good for everybody in the ecosystem. If you give it to somebody who is not that rich, then it's a really big impact on his life for sure.
Yeah, and the rich people often tend to be like business owners or things like that. And I don't know if you remember back in Texas, we had a gentleman named Will. He goes by Uncle Will. He ran a business, a window framing business, and a lot. One of his big things was he did well on Hex, and so he wanted to give away Hex to some of his employees, and he got more of his employees involved. I mean, that little things like that trickle down to the other people. It's always a benefit. It's like the compound thing that I was talking about.
Exactly. So, and here we are already coming to an end, not only from our stream, but only from Hex Postcards. We see here join chat, and I guess this is the most important thing. Or what would you advise? How can people get involved with Hex Postcards and help the cause?
Yeah. Join chat. That'll take you to the Telegram. There's also the link down there. That would be the first step. Just come involved, come into our Telegram and talk to us, fill us out, see what what we're all about. And kind of go from there. Donations are great. Design tips, ideas. We want people to talk about it, and we've got another batch that's going to be sending soon. And so hopefully we will be seeing more stuff on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot about people posting more pictures of the postcards, and so we encourage people to get involved. Don't be rude, obviously, but say, hey, wow, I know Hex, it's great, blah, blah, blah. And kind of, sometimes when these people post these postcards and they talk from a position of ignorance, they talk from a position of, what is this? Who's sending me this? It's a scam. But you got to understand that a majority of the people aren't like super involved in the cryptocurrency space. They don't know necessarily about Hex. They just see something and it kind of triggers alarm bells. So it's always prudent to be like, hey, no, look, I'm using this. It's a great thing. Let me talk to you about it. Kind of try and approach people very calmly, very collectedly. Don't just jump off, say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Feel them out, see what their intentions are, see how they're handling this information that they got, and just help educate them.
And then in the chat, obviously, then you would start asking questions like, where can I send some money so you guys can just do your job?
Yeah.
Because some Hexicans don't want to be involved, right?
Right.
We have here in the chat some people saying, hey, I just want to chill. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, then you're, I think, missing out on the community aspect. You're missing out on self-development. But yeah, this is totally fine as well.
It's a very hands-off way to help Hex, is just to send a donation. And we encourage you to come in and talk to us, see how you want it best handled. But that's definitely an option. Yeah.
And also, like, just the feedback is sometimes so important as well, right? You get feedback from somebody who has not seen the product 24/7 and just looks at it a little bit differently. Well, and if you have made your donation to Hex Postcards here, you obviously want to go into the chat and then look at this. You can take action, and then there are more and more things to do as a Hexican to promote the things.
A lot of different marketing links are on that tab there, including yours, Albert. There's other different ways that you can help if you think the postcards maybe are not the best use of your time or money. Check out some of those other links. Those are other ways that you can get involved, print some stickers out, print out business cards, do what you think is best, and kind of go from there.
And when you click to Hex advertising checklist here, there is even more. And this is our all ideas that you can just click on, get inspired, and start doing your own thing as well. Because this is at the end what Hexicans are doing, right? So let's get back to the question, why are we all doing it? We were talking about the gatekeeping. Because we were gatekept so much, basically we were a little bit forced, because I think we said, no, this is not fair. We still want to talk about Hex and want to market Hex. If you guys are gatekeeping us, then we are doing it the same. And I think this is the theme of the stream today. I want to encourage everybody to get involved into community. You will get yourself, you will get better by doing so. You will learn valuable members of the community and just grow together. It's so much fun. Victor, what do you have to do? Say, like, how can you encourage somebody, some Hexican who's maybe not on Twitter, not on in the community, how to get involved?
Well, reaching out is probably the easiest. I mean, you reach out to people that you think are good, promising, positive people in the community. Ask them questions. I would never turn away anybody who's asking me a genuine question about what they can do to be more a part of the community. But KSB does a lot of great events. I mean, I went to all the Texas events that KSB was in. I met great people, and these are people I consider friends. I consider friends outside of Hex now for life. I mean, I've told people, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to be here for 15 years. So I wanted to kind of meet some of the people involved in the product that share the same ideas as me, that think Richard's great, that think the product is great. So don't be intimidated or anything. Just go out there, just do it the best way you know how. And I would say just continue to reach out to people.
And now with Hex Postcards, we have a great tool that Hexicans can just use to have everything automated. On pumphex.com, you would have to put a little bit more effort in yourself, but this is also building your brand then, right?
Sure.
So Victor, it was so much fun talking to you. I think we learned a lot from Hex Postcards and how to market Hex. I think this brings really great value to the community. Is there maybe something that you want to ask KSB TV or me personally?
No, I'm excited for y'all to come back to America and start it again. I know we got to wait for Pulse Chain. I mean, it does, like you said, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You can't, the whole target of the KSB Million Pulse Tour is to give away 1 million Pulse, right? So
exactly.
It's, it would be a lot more fun if we could do that, but I'm excited to see y'all again. And I don't really, I do have one question. How's the RV coming? Did y'all get further along down with that?
No, we have not looked into the RV too much anymore. Well, we thought it would launch mid-May, right? So that's why we started talking about cars already, because we thought it's so close. But now that we have the feeling it's maybe a little bit later, we are not talking about the RV right now too much anymore, but we are talking about something else. So let me bring that up really quick. I think this is really interesting as well. The screen share should be up in a second. I just need to prepare the right event, because we have so many events going on here. And even we have even categories now to categorize our events. It's so crazy.
That's great, man. Yeah, I know y'all are pushing the golf tour a lot, and that's really important. I'm excited to see it.
Exactly. So let's bring up the screen share. You know me already. I wanted to show the golf tournament because, like you said, 1 million pulls. We need the pulse tournament for that. We need the pulse launch for that because the objective is to give out 1 million pulls and also 1 million pulse X, by the way. And without the pulse chain, we cannot do it. But we can still do events, and this is what we want to do with the golf tournament here. We want to bring Hexicans together that then can network. Obviously, you can network on PostCon as well, but it will be a little bit different. You have been at one of our events, like the casual meetups, right?
Yeah.
There you can actually really touch the people, ask personal questions, and you're by yourself. And I think this is why the golf tournament is really a good opportunity for that. And like you see, we have a lot of sponsors involved here already. The network that will come out of that event is and will be great. I believe so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that's great, man.
So you guys feel free to come to the golf tournament, or maybe feel free to sponsor this as well. And all the money that we are getting is used for marketing Hex Pulse X and Pulse Chain. All right.
That's great.
Victor, I had a great time with you. I think the Hexicans learned as well a lot. The stream is coming to an end. And what are you most excited about for the next couple of weeks? What are you working on?
Well, you know, I'm just right now I'm actually kind of compiling a list of all of Richard's old videos and trying to kind of organize that a little bit better, catalog it a little bit better. It's something I'm doing kind of behind the scenes, and I'm gonna kind of hopefully get some stuff working just to organize things a little bit better. I know his channel needs. I reached out and said I think your channel needs some more thumbnails and maybe, you know, some of the higher quality or the higher view count videos that got kind of that are back in the past that maybe could use a little bit sprucing up. So that's something I'm kind of working on. But then that and the Hex postcard stuff, and then just me staying busy personally. But yeah, man, that's about all I got going on right now.
Nice. Well, congratulations to all of that. And hopefully we get to see more thumbnails in Richard's social media, right? That would be great. Then I would knew this is your effort. Like everybody's just doing their part. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to go to KSB TV, help the golf tournament, help the Million Tools Pulse Tour, because these direct marketing tools will be hugely important for the price in the future. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
We'll see you.
Read it.